So I was just listening to a story about uh, a white preacher and a black preacher. It's in a totally different part of the world, totally foreign to me, where there's a there were those two pastors, those two preachers were holding services in the past where they had, these are Christian pastors, spiritual leaders who were teaching to a mixed group of black and white and others who were in the crowd. And the powers that be decided at some point that they needed to stop or be killed. And I was hearing this story being told about guns being put to both their heads and told that they need to relent and cease and desist. But their response was, you think that my first instinct is like, oh, they're either gonna say yes and like give up, give in, or they're just gonna be very brave and courageous to say no and like just kill me. And then those are the two only paths. But their response was like this third way. It was something that was outside the box, and it wasn't that they were even trying to be outside the box. It was just the way that they were living, which was just really authentic and real. And the response, they kind of laughed, and they're like, "Oh, so you come to join us now?" And they ended up, because of that, they had this almost like rapturous or joyous response instead of what I would have expected. And because of that happening, nobody died that day, and they continued on for a long time, doing what they were doing. And things have changed somewhat in that area, I think. But I was just, I just, I was just struck by, with current events, things that have happened in Las Vegas and other places where there's just been gun violence and just so much violence. And there's always been violence. I mean, if we're fooling ourselves if we think that there's not been violence forever and a day. Some of us are more sheltered from it on a daily basis, but the other parts of the world they're not sheltered, and it's happening all the time. And my heart just broke when I heard that story. I just started weeping for a minute, just kind of sobbing. I'm still a little puffy-eyed, if you can't tell. um, but I just felt sharing this moment that just how my heart, I just seeing that third way happen. It was both the violence, the sadness of that, like hit me, and also just the amazing love that they responded with that made a difference and changed things. They didn't return in violence. They didn't. I mean, I'm very much a pacifist personally, but and I don't know what would happen if my family were attacked. I might act out in violence. I don't know. Ideologically, I'd like to think I wouldn't, but that's not the point. The point is that these guys responded in a different way. Something that was imaginative, creative, but really came from a place of love and authenticity. And I think authenticity goes hand in hand with being vulnerable. And I just appreciated that moment of just being. I've seen all the stuff happening with Vegas and other things, and I felt kind of numb for some reason. And just, I mean, I felt sad, but it felt like it was far removed. And then for some reason, that story got to me when I saw both the sadness and the love in response in that moment. I mean, I know people have been responding in love, and I think those people, if you're one of those people, you're amazing. And I love whatever you're doing to help other people who've been affected directly by these tragedies. And my heart breaks for everyone who's hurting, and I also I want to be someone who responds in a different way. There's not just this dichotomy of there's this way or that. There's a third way. There's always a third way. We just don't see it till we step into that. And so, and I think it's rooted in love. So, I love you all. I hope love finds its way to your heart, or that you see it happening today.